My name is Miss Newlove, and first of all, I just want to say a big sorry to everyone who's been waiting. Due to unforeseen circumstances, we've had to push the show back, but we are here. Nothing could stop us. We're here by hook or by crook, and we have a very special guest in the studio today. I mean, I don't even know what to say about her. I'm completely overwhelmed by her presence right now in the studio. But before we meet her, I'd like to say a big thank you to our main sponsor of today's show, who is Omega House Multimedia Company, who are situated in North London, West Green Road, right next door to Uncle John's Bakery. You cannot miss them. And Omega House Multimedia Company are there for all your multimedia needs, coverage of events, all your print media, everything to do with media, and obviously they power Omega Live TV. I'd also like to say a big thank you to Ghana Union once again for giving us the award for Best Media House at their maiden Community Awards show, which took place a few weeks ago. So we are now award winning. Yes, we are an award winning station. Before I introduce our special guest, this amazing woman who's come all the way from Ghana to be with us, I would like you to share this because you will be inspired, you'll be motivated, and you'll definitely be empowered by the end of this conversation. And in the studio today, we have the amazing Oheneyere Gifty Anti, all the way from Ghana. It's such an honor to have you in the studio.
It's great to be here.
You made it.
Yeah,
you made it. You made it, and I'm so happy to have you here. And for those of you that do not know about Oheneyere Gifty Anti, she is the CEO of GDA Media Limited in Ghana. She's also the host and executive producer of The Standpoint Show, which first aired in the UK on OBE TV and now airs on ABN TV, I believe. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can tune into ABN to watch her show, The Standpoint. It's amazing. I'm so inspired by the show, Gifty.
Thank you.
Thank you once again for being in the studio. So Gold Diggers is all about bringing to light people that are doing great things in their communities, various societies and professions. And you are like the ultimate gold digger that I've had on the show. You're you've topped my list now. Yeah, so I always like to take my guests back, into their past, because it's so important for everyone watching to understand, how your journey started, where you began in life, and you grew up in Ghana, and you're the last of 8 children, I believe, and your father brought you up.
Yes.
So
I was raised by a man, by my father. Yeah.
Exactly. So do you think being raised by your father has made you the resilient woman that you are today?
Oh yes, no doubt about that. My father was a very strong man. I had Presbyterian trained, Gold Coast police officer, proud achievement. Okay. And my father was not your typical father. He was a disciplinarian, but he believed in us and always encouraged us to reach out to, the highest we can go. My father never talked to me about marriage or anything. It was always be an achiever. He used to have a phrase that for your good, not your goods, make a name for yourself, achieve something, make an impact, not so much the wealth. So my father sacrificed a lot, to make sure that I find myself in a certain space. And that is why I still carry the name Auntie. Because, unfortunately, I couldn't build a house for my dad before he died. I couldn't do anything, say big for him before he died. I mean, that's what I feel. But I'm glad to say and very proud to say that he said thank you to me for letting the whole Ghana and the whole world know his name before he died. He said I made him a proud father. Okay. So when I got married, I told my husband that, please,
keeping your name. She's
holding
on to that name.
That Auntie, it's a memorial for my father. And thank God he didn't make a fuss about it at all. It was just okay. So he said, okay, no problem. You're just going to carry the title Oheneyere. So that anybody who hears Oheneyere, they will ask which Oheneyere, and then his name will be mentioned.
His name. Yes. So you started your career as a broadcast journalist.
Yes.
In Ghana. Did you always know that you wanted to go into journalism?
No. I just got in there by accident. From the background that I grew up in, my dream was to make sure that I work, make some money, take care of my father, take care of myself, help the less privileged in society, because that's what I saw my dad do, because that's what people did for me. There are people who helped me when I was growing up, and so that's all I wanted to do. My dream, and growing up in my area, I saw the well-to-do people being the land economist. So I wanted to be a land economist. And after today, I don't even know exactly what they do. And that didn't happen. I wanted to be a public relations officer. I was offered journalism when I went to GIJ. And
you went to GIJ?
I went to GIJ. Oh, wow. Yes, I did my diploma at GIJ.
So is that where you kind of learn about different roles within media and journalism? And
yes, of course. I did journalism instead of PR. I wasn't offered PR. I was offered journalism. But someone told me that with journalism, you can still be a public relations officer. So for my internship, I went to a public relations office company. But my boss then said, young lady, I think you should go and try a media house. If it doesn't work, you come back. I never went back. I just went and I fell in love with journalism, and my journey began.
So you started your career at GBC, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, and you worked under GTV.
Yes.
So you started, I read that you started as a floor manager. And also at the Breakfast Morning Show.
Yes.
How did that, which one came first?
Okay, the floor manager. I was put on before then I had done 3 months internship with GBC. And then after school, my national service, I was posted there as well. And around that time, the breakfast show was just about starting. And when we were doing our internship, we used to floor manage, and our names will appear, floor manager. I don't know what, right? And they were excited. My father used to be excited about it, and that's all. My life was to make my father happy. That was all. And after today, everything I do, I just, would that be happy? Would that be proud of me? It matters so much to me. But that's how it happened. But around that time, during the national service time, they were starting the breakfast show, the first ever morning show.
On GTV?
On Ghana television.
Full stop.
Any television in Ghana.
Wow.
The first morning, I remember the first edition was on the 13th of February, 1997. Now, this is something I used to encourage a lot of, especially the young people. My father, I was put on that program to be a floor manager again.
Yes.
And my father woke me up very early in the morning, around 4:30. We left in Tema. Made sure that I think he went with me to the station or something to get a trotro. Got to work. I got there very early. The place was very quiet. Nobody was around. Being the person that I am, I started chatting with the driver. He said he was going to Seko to go and pick up newspapers. I sat in the car. We went in, and when we were coming, I started reading the papers. And as God had it, the main presenter, which was Madam Beatrice Edu, was a little bit late. And when she got there, she was rushing through. So I was telling her the items or the stories in the newspapers. And she said, Gifty, you know what? Go and sit with me on set. You just tell me what the story is about, and then we'll discuss. Because at the very first, I don't want to mess up that. So she gave me that opportunity. And I took it. I wasn't even prepared. I remember I was wearing my father's shirt. And a jeans skirt and some slippers, But thank God there was a table. So my feet were hidden. And I went to sit there, and it happened. So when I say to young people, I talk to young people, and it's in my book. When opportunity meets preparation, success happens.
Definitely.
I was prepared because I got there early. I read the newspapers. I offered to help Madam Beatrice Edu by telling her the stories in the newspapers. And when she gave me the opportunity to come on TV, I took it because I was prepared. and it started my journey as a TV presenter.
And you were
By the way, my first appearance on it, I was described by a magazine as beautiful enough for the for the set, but not intelligent enough.
Oh.
That's why when I was so sad, my dad told me that, listen, my dear, the best form of revenge is to succeed. You are going to work hard. If they give you another opportunity, even if 1 minute, you're going to prove yourself. Less than 2 years, the same magazine organized an awards, and they gave me 2 awards. One for best TV presenter, second one for newscaster.
Within your first 2 years?
Within the first 2 years. The same magazine that described me as beautiful enough but not intelligent enough for the show. So, you know, I had my revenge.
That is perfect revenge.
Yeah.
That's sweet revenge.
Yeah.
And you was there for 17 years.
17 sweet, hard working years.
I mean, what kept you at GTV for 17 years?
Oh, I love GTV, and my story can never be told without GTV. I worked there, I enjoyed working. I took every opportunity that I was given. We had some of the great, you know, presenters and journalists there, producers, directors. So I learned from all of them. And you will find me everywhere. I mean, director, our sister, the director, our sister producer. You know, even as a news presenter, sometimes I was going to floor manage. You know, anything and everything I was learning, because right from the beginning, I told myself that when I leave GBC, I'm not going to work for anybody. I was going to work for myself. So I made sure I learned everything.
And was you ever tempted, approached by other TV stations?
Oh yes,
during your career?
yes. But you know, GTV, we have this despite all our shortcomings and negative. You see, I still say, though I don't work there anymore. You know, I mean, there's a sense of family. There's a sense of love when you really have passion for what you do, and you're committed to it. You really want to strive and do your best to make sure that it succeed. Ghana television succeed, so you can put your all into it. It was the station with the nationwide coverage.
Yeah, like the BBC or
yeah, exactly.
Yes,
you know, so when you believe in it, when you know what you're about, when you have made up your mind that this is what you want to do, JPC and some of the great minds around, great journalists around now, they all had a stint with JBC.
Yeah.
It's a place to learn. It's a place to get equipped. It's a place to fall in love with media. You know, so I've always loved it. So I left GBC. My show was on GBC for a long time before we moved recently to Joy Prime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So do you have any proud moments from GTV that you can remember? Maybe a few you could share with us.
Oh, many of them. I remember some of them.
Still like,
my first one, having to present the news with Madame Beatrice Edu. Having to present the news with Barbara Gazy or Francisca Chitodutu. I mean, Alex Ofosukwachi. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, all those things were great. Having to go on assignment. I traveled the length and breadth of Ghana.
I can imagine.
Doing stories, features for GTV. I mean, going to Menchia, going to, you know, and there are places I've been to where people come from that region and don't know exist in their own region.
Wow.
After I tell people that the scars of my leg, you know, are a proof of the things that I have done, the stories that I have covered, the lives that I've touched. Because what I loved was, apart from the political stories and the coverage and the presidential correspondence work I did, what I love most is when I do a story and then they have for people in need, underprivileged, deprived areas, and then people moving to go and help them. Oh Lord, I remember I went to the Upper West Regional Capital. Now it's even divided. I'm even confused. I don't even know whether it's still, you know, but and I did a story for School for the Blind. You know, about your food, the ease, and the children, and less than 2 days. the Best Farmers Association of Ghana mobilized, went to give them bags of food.
Wow.
It was so exciting. I did another story from the northern part near Tamale, a village near Tamale, about school that had been run down. It was in a dilapidated, people moving to to help. I did a story with a woman who was a story about a woman who was running an orphanage for children with HIV, and then people went in there. So it's so exciting when you do that. I'm just so when you read my profile, I said I'm a philanthropist by nature,
Yes,
and I tell my husband I'm a wounded healer. I may have my own issues, but I'll be rushing to help somebody.
Other people.
I just quite recently I was talking to some people. I said, listen, I needed 20,000 to fix my car because my car was broken down. I didn't have it, but I helped raise 150,000 for someone for surgery.
Imagine.
And I'm happy because I see that person. She's alive today.
Yeah.
She's alive. What is the car? Car will come and go,
It's
but
true.
a human life, when it's gone, it is gone.
It's gone. Wow. Guys, if you've just joined us, we have the amazing, the phenomenal Oheneyere Gifty Anti on Gold Diggers. Woo! I'm so proud of myself. Yes, we have her in the studio. So at what point, guys, please share, because we're just getting into it. We're just warming up. It's a cold night, but it's Monday, and Monday is the start of the week. So share this and let someone be inspired by watching this show. So, Gifty, at what point did you decide? You did say that you were going to stay at GTV, until you started your own thing. But at what point did you start thinking to yourself, you know what? I think it's time.
When I felt I was ready. When I felt I was ready, because after I came to do my master's here, I went back. I had to work and stay in my bond for 2 years. And then I started my show, The Standpoint, in 2008, which from day one had been a private production. It was never a GBC program. It was never a GBC partnered program. We paid for airtime from day one. So it was a private production. It aired on GBC for quite a long time. But at a point, I told myself it was time to move on. I just felt it. I just knew I had to move on. So on 31st of December 2013, I said goodbye to the viewers of GTV News. Wow. And on the 2nd of January 2014, I was in my own office. Wow. With everything set, everything set, because I was preparing. Yes. For 5 years, between 2008 to 2013, I prepared. I get a little money, I buy a microphone. I get some money, I contribute towards a camera. I prepare.
Prepared yourself.
I prepared myself. Because if you're not prepared and you jump and you go, you will fail. When I was leaving GBC, a lot of people thought I couldn't survive. Some gave me 3 months. They said I loved TV too much. And so I would go back. I haven't gone back.
You haven't gone back.
Because I was ready. I make sure, and I tell people that you always make sure. Don't leave because everybody, you're good. You can do better. No, just make sure you are ready to move on. People can advise, but then you ask yourself, am I ready to do this? Can I do that? Without this and that, will I be okay? With the challenges that will come, will I survive? Because being on my own hasn't been easy. It's been tough. Very, very tough. How the program has been on air for 11 years is a miracle, because I stick by a principle. The Standpoint is a women's discussion program. It's a women's agenda. It's not a show. It's agenda setting. It's educative. It's empowering. It empowers women holistically.
That's it.
We break taboos. Everything and anything we talk about. And so I cannot accept certain adverts and certain sponsorship on the show. So something like an alcoholic company.
Beverage,
it can't sponsor me because I I wouldn't be sitting on the show talking about the effect of alcohol on women, and then the next moment I'm playing an alcoholic.
You know, you've made some valid and interesting points.
I can't be talking about how bleaching can affect women, and the next moment I'm advertising all for the sake of money. Then I'm doing whatever I'm doing because of money. It's a show. But for me, it's a passion. It's a ministry. It's something I believe in. I tell people, I don't practice what I preach. I preach what I practice. When I talk to people about abuse, I talk about them of financial independence. I talk to them about being independent in marriage. The child, everything I talk about, it's because at least I've experienced it.
Yes.
I know how it is. Understand it. And every time, so one of the bits in my book, wear your scars beautifully. You know, my book, I don't know, I mean, if you see the cover of the book,
Yeah.
you know, you see those broken
what's
pieces
the-
there. It's not design.
Because I was wondering.
It
why
tells a
is-
story.
Okay.
The story of my brokenness, the story of my challenges, the story of betrayals, the story of the lows and the highs, of my mistakes, of my failures. But behind all that is a beautiful picture,
Okay.
a whole beautiful picture. That is me. Because I've been, by the grace of God, not my own will, of course, hard work as well.
Yes.
I've been able to overcome and still hold my head high. I've been through a lot.
I know.
So many things have been thrown at me. The rumors, the accusations, the whatever. They're trying hard to, you know, taint your image. But still, I keep going one step
Persevered.
at a time.
Yes.
Because I tell myself, listen, this is me. That is all I have. What God has given to me to work with is the voice, is the platform. And I'm not going to let my own little discomfort rob me or rob others of what they can benefit from me. You know, a funny thing is, anytime I feel like giving up, you meet somebody who will tell you, that's a gift, you can't let us down, you know. Let me tell you the story. There's this story. There was a time I went to the salon and I was so down because something had happened. I was so broken up. I said, listen, I'm not doing this again. I'm not going to help anybody again. This, that. So tears were coming in the way, it was salon people. So I went to the washroom. And when I was coming from the washroom, I saw this young lady who was looking at me, smiling, you know, and I thought, you know, she's seeing Gifty Anti. So I said, oh, hello, hi. I said, hello, Auntie Gifty. I said, do you want a hug? She hugged me and she broke down. She cried and cried and cried. I said, why are you crying? She said, if I had met you earlier, I don't think I'll be doing what I'm doing. So I asked her, what are you doing? She said, I came here to solicit. Solicit for what? She says, I'm a prostitute.
Wow.
How old are you? 16 years.
16.
What is your story? She's the oldest of her mother. She doesn't know where her father is. Her mother is sick. There are 4 of them. Wherever she goes to, she can't get a job. That's all she can do. So I just telling myself, God, I had been betrayed by somebody I called my daughter, somebody I had brought to my home, somebody who is a university student. Now, this is what you want me to take on. But I say this to the glory of God. Now, that daughter of mine has completed university and is doing well, and her family is proud of her. Once in a while, I get to hear from her. Maybe I may never meet her again, but nobody knows what she'll become in future. One day, she may help somebody. Quite recently, I'm a health freak. I do my health check all the time. So in October, I went to do my breast screening, and I do the thorough one. So I did the mammogram, and then I do the breast scan as well.
Okay.
And the lady who did the mammogram for me was just all smiley and so excited and everything. But after she hugged me and said, Mommy, I don't think you remember me. And I said, please remind me. And she said, well, 5 years ago, I came to your office to look for help to go to the university. And I said, my heart was beat. I said, Lord, please let it be that we helped her. And I said, did we help? He said, yes, you did. You are the reason why I'm a a diagnostic radiographer.
Can you imagine?
I was so emotional the whole day. I cried. I wrote it on all my social media platform that
Wow.
life goes around.
Yeah.
It goes around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, funny thing is when she started, I said, Lord, don't tell me she's found something in my breast. You know, that's why she was, you know, kind of thing. But luckily, I have got the, you know, clean, you know, health bill. But it was so exciting, and so I mean, just look at this person. The same way, if I had done something evil to this person, but
it's
I'm going to run
so
to make
it's,
that
it's
person.
so important to treat people that you meet
Exactly.
with respect. You know, treat them well, because you never know. You might meet that person again.
Exactly.
In your desperate hour.
Yeah.
You never know. We have the amazing. Wow, she's blown me away already. The amazing Oheneyere Gifty Anti in the studio with us today, and we've just been talking about, you know, her life up to, you know, Standpoint.
Yes.
So why did you call your show The Standpoint?
Okay, so I was so much in love with The View. In 1990, was it 96 or 95 or 96? I was in America, and I think I used to watch The View a lot. I was so excited, and then I came here and I saw Loose Women as well, and I just love the idea of women coming together, women, you know, talking about issues affecting them, and you know, having chats here and there. And then when the time came for me to have my own show, I just said, okay, somebody's using The View, let me use a Standpoint. You know, so that's where the name came from. But the whole idea initially was the fact that, listen, at the time I started doing TV, and I started the breakfast show, and I was hosting a newspaper review, which was very, you know, political. So, oh Lord, the insult, the name calling, the threat and everything. And I knew that there were great women out there who were better than, so I just didn't understand that people found it strange that I had a voice and I can be assertive and I can be outspoken. So every time I was lobbying that they bring more women, you know, it used to be all men having the newspaper review and all. So I worked out every Wednesday, got to a point every Wednesday would bring all women panel and so on and so forth. But
and probably back then in Ghana is a bit like,
and those women too were being attacked and being insulted, some being threatened here and there. I mean, it was some tough times, and at a point I couldn't, you know, I worked for an institution and I had to play by the rules. And I remember that when I came to do my MA here, my journalism lecturer, Christabel King, who was interestingly was the first woman to be on BBC International. But yeah, Christabel King, she taught me that and said, Gifty, I mean, she wanted me to stay after school, after uni here, to be her TA and assist. And I said, no, I wanted to go back to Ghana. I said, okay, if you're going, promise me that when you go, you're going to do something different to support the women in Ghana, something to empower the women, something to uplift the women, something to let women know that you're worth it, to challenge them, to take up the mantle, to add value to themselves. So I remember that and I said, okay, I'm going to start a show. So initially, the idea was to make sure that we bring women together to talk about the hard stuff, you know, like the politics, the economy, the finance, the engineering stuff and all that. But then when I started, and thank God for, you know, wisdom and knowledge and direction, I realized that, okay, the reason why we are not getting women out there to be outspoken, to put themselves out there, is because there are some underlying factors that are being used against the women. So I decided to go to the down roots, to the grassroots,
uproot those issues,
to go and talk and tackle those issues. So we talked about menstruation, we talk about pregnancy, we talk about abortion, we talk about the fact that divorce is not, they talk about the fact that whether you have a child or not, you have a voice, whether you are married or not, whether you are divorced, whether you are widowed, everything we talk about. Sometimes we bring men on, but of course when they talk about benefit women, you know, always have a way of going around that. So we talk about everything, and we started breaking the glass ceiling, And every time you get somebody to come on to share the experience, to talk about, I remember I had Madam Joyce, are you on? I had Mrs. Gifty Anti, Dr. Juliet Twackley, a very renowned pediatrician, and they talk about their own life and experiences. And then people felt like, whoa, if these women can open up, if these women have gone through this too, then I can do it. I can do it. And every time you talk about an issue, you have more people coming up willing to come and share the experiences so other women can learn from it. Wow. So it's been very empowering. I have learned a lot through it. I have learned a lot.
So
I've learned a lot.
A lot of people call you a feminist, and an activist. Yeah. When did this start happening? Did it start during this period or before?
Oh, I'll say that I was born a feminist. My father was the first feminist I got to know. My father never discriminated. The boys, cooked. My father never told me that a woman, your place is the kitchen. My father told me that I can dream and dream as big as I can. My father told me I can achieve anything and everything. My father told me it's important for me to buy land, for me to build for myself, to advance myself, to go back to school. So my father believed in all of us. I remember a very emotional incident that happened. I remember my father, I'm a pension baby, accidental baby, not planned, a child of my father's old age. So my father had gone on like his third or fourth pension by the time I finished Form 5, and my sisters or my siblings were telling me that, oh, listen, Dad is tired, he can't work anymore, so you go and find something, secretarial job or something to do, and I said, no, I want to go to the sixth form. And they didn't understand. You just said you're stubborn, this, that. I said, no, I want to go to the sixth form. My father came out and said, listen, if she wants to go to the sixth form, let her go. I will do everything I can to make sure. So my father, a proud achievement, Gold Coast trained police officer, Presbyterian trained. He reached the post of a superintendent. My father retired in 1971. He went to the police force in 1941 or so. Those days, so police superintendent was a very high ranking, position. He became a manager with Kingsway and other places. My father became a watchman at Ghana, Everready Battery, just to make sure that I go to school.
Can you imagine?
The sacrifices. So people ask me, how can you be a feminist fighting for women when it's your father who did everything? I said, yeah, that's why I don't understand why some men look down on women. Some men think that women are second class. Some men think that women are just item. Something to be used, to be seen and not to be heard. Because my father sacrificed to make sure that I go to school as far as I can go, to make sure I can achieve anything. So I need to stand up. My mother wasn't that into education because my mother was not educated. She was socialized to believe that it's the boys who have to go to school. So her concentration was on, my brothers and her nephews and so on and so forth. But then, if she knew, like I know now, I'm not going to discriminate. I'm going to make sure that both my girls and boys are educated. Both of them, I push them. But she didn't know. So if I know better, I need to stand up and make sure women understand and make sure men understand. Anytime yesterday I went to speak at the Methodist Central Hall. Thanks to Mr. Kwesi, the chairman of Ghana Union. He invited me to their 40th anniversary Thanksgiving, and then he gave me the opportunity to speak. And I met this man who said to me, you know what? My life changed when I heard you talk about your father. I said, really? He said, yes. I changed my attitude towards my children, towards my wife. Because I said to myself, one day I would love my daughter to also talk about me like the way you talk about your dad. So that is why I believe in women. I mean, irrespective of who you are, where you are, what you've been through, I believe that no one has the right to hold you ransom to your past. I mean, it's happened, and so what? Life happens. We've all made mistakes before. We are here by grace. A man does totally crazy things and he gets away with it. A woman does it and they are going back to her history. Is she even married? How did she have a child? How many children has she got? It's crazy.
It is.
And because they say women are emotional, we let it hold us back. No way. We need to stand up and fight. They talk about the proverbial breaking through the glass ceiling. My dear, Eva, if we are to break through a ceiling that is glass here, God forbid, if there's fire and everything is solid and the only way out is the glass ceiling up and we break through, it is possible we may have some cuts. It's possible we may have some glass stuck in our skin, but then we will push through to get out to save our lives. It's the same with life. As you push along, it's possible you make mistakes. I mean, it's inevitable. You will make mistakes. You will fail sometimes. You will have some cuts. That's why I write about wearing your scars beautifully.
I don't think I've reached that bit.
But I think that's a bit 27 or so. That wear your scars beautifully because you have ended. It's part of your story. It's part of your journey. I talk about the scars of my stomach. And it's through that scar that I got to know that I could still have a child. I thought it was not possible. But that growth on my stomach that my Dr. Paddy Aite decided he had to take it out. When he went in there, he went in and said, your womb is fine. We can try. You will have it. And through that, I have a child. I see the scar and I'm not too happy. But I remember it is through that scar.
You were able to give.
I'm able to have my beautiful princess. The same way, it's your past, the pains you've been through, the difficulties you've been through, the challenges, the mistakes you've made, they all come together to form you, like the cover of the book. If only you can stand and tell yourself that, listen, I will do better. I can do better. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Samini says, slow motion is better than no motion.
That's true.
Life is a journey. Sometimes you are down. Sometimes you are up. Sometimes you are running. Sometimes you are crawling. Other times you have to sit and relax.
It's true.
There's a time for everything.
There is.
No need to rush. No need to compare yourself with anybody. No need to look around. Listen, as people throw stones at you, I tell them, pick it up. If they pick it up. One day you'll be standing on top of those stones and you'll be looking down at them.
Amen. Wow. Wow. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Let's move on. You're the founder of two foundations.
Yes.
The Girl in Need Foundation and the
That's Why Reading Project.
Yeah. So, when did you start these projects and what are they all about?
Okay, the Girl in Need Foundation was started years ago, I think almost 9 years ago, when I had a lot of young girls coming to me for help. I mean, they want money to go to school, they are pregnant, they've been abandoned, and I was doing it all by myself. And at a point, I realized that the numbers were increasing. I couldn't do it all by myself. And the most painful thing, I mean, somebody asked me what I fear most. I said, what my most painful periods are when people come to me and they genuinely need help and I can't help them. It breaks me. It breaks me. So I decided to set up a foundation to solicit for funds, ask Ghanaians to give me 1 Ghana cedi or more. So we help girls go back to school, girls who find themselves in abusive environment, 18 years and below. So we take care of, now we have children in creche, in nursery, up to senior high. Even some of them, they come to us and when we are sending them to school, we have to buy a chop box, we have to buy a trunk, we have to buy sponge, we have to buy toothbrush, we have to buy toothpaste, everything. Sometimes, I mean, forgive me, their underpants, their panties, and bra, we have to buy because they have nothing. So though there's free SHS, I mean, previously we do all that and still pay school fees. I was here quite recently. They sent me that there's a person, we need to raise some money. I had to, the books I've sold, I had to send £200 back to Ghana for them to, because before I could raise that fund, somebody would have been kicked out of school. So I had to send my own money. And then we send, messages around, and then the rest was, raised to make sure the others also go back to school.
Okay.
So that is what the Girl in Need Foundation, we help these girls. And it's not about brilliant but needy. Because we have found out, and I went through that as well. When you are in difficult situation, when you don't know where your bread is coming, when you don't know when your school fees is coming, it can affect you academically.
Yes.
And I've seen girls who come to us all broken, self-confidence gone, they are not doing too well. But then once we start paying the school fees, it's amazing the turnaround. One of my best girls, Hannah, I mean, she does a promo for Appeal for Us all the time. Now she's at the University of Cape Coast. Last year she couldn't go to university because we couldn't raise the funds for her. And this year we were able to, so she's gone to school. Brilliant girl. She became she became the president of a club in her school. I mean, she's so intelligent. It's amazing. But this is a girl who I was told I wasn't doing well. Her grades were not good. So sometimes we don't know people's story. We don't know the things. We are quick to judge and condemn people. But there are things that are eating them up. Things that are breaking them silently. Not everybody can come out and speak up.
Of course.
And so you think that, oh, this person is that. I mean, spoiled. She's this. But then if you can make the effort to understand them, to find out where they are coming from, what they've been through, what is making them do what they're doing or behave the way they're behaving, maybe you can help them. Maybe. So that's the Girl in Need Foundation. And then the Awo Dancer Reading Project.
And Awo Dancer is your
stool name. Dansua is a name my father gave me. And then Awo, when I was married, I was given a stool name, Awo Dansua. Okay. So the Awo, they added the Dansua to the Awo. Awo is like an elderly woman, like a wise woman. That's the title given to a woman. So when we got married, and first Christmas at Idumasa, and normally, before we got married, I go there and I gather the kids, and I love kids, so I'll tell them stories. And this time I think I had run out of stories. So I told them to go and bring their storybooks, and they were sitting there looking at me like, what is this woman talking about storybooks? They don't have storybooks, what are you talking about? I was like, what? You don't have storybooks? And I grew up on storybooks. I left them a community 8. I could walk from community 8 to community 1 to the library to go and beg a book. By the time I get home, I'll finish reading the book. Wow. I love reading. And storybooks helps you dream and dream big. It helps you get into a world that you have never seen before. I mean, some of us, we grew up in an environment where all we saw was the people around us. But you read the storybooks and then it opens you into this whole world, of opportunities, of things that you can do and achieve. Textbooks can help you pass your exams. But then storybooks edge you on to always become a better human being, to go beyond your classroom education. So that's what made me start the Awo Dancer Reading Project. I mean, my birthday was...
Is that more of a recent thing?
A recent thing. It started about 4 years ago. Since it started. It was, I think it was Christmas. So my birthday, 23rd January. I'll be 50 years next January.
What a surprise! 50 50 years, guys. Look at this woman. She's going to be 50. I can't believe it.
Yes,
She's
that's
looking better than me here in the studio.
I've been looking forward to my 50, you know.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
Wow.
So I think it was my 46th birthday. Yeah. So I told my friends on social media and friends and family that listen, I don't want any gift, and I love my birthday. And if you don't give me a gift or you don't come to me, you are in trouble. You know. So I told them this: I don't want a gift. I don't want anything.
Okay.
Just give me storybooks. Just give me storybooks. And people started giving storybooks. Now the next thing was, where do I keep them? So I told my husband, and he gave me this. Oh God, I wish I had brought the pictures. This is a dilapidated structure of a block. So I started appealing, you know, while some of my daughters, Yehovah Dome Bathing, Cornelius, and you know, others came in, donated. We renovated 2 classrooms, changed the roofing, the doors and everything, painted the floor. It looked like it was carpet. And then some people donated cabinet, shelves and so on, and we turned it into a library.
Wow.
And I say it's the most colorful library in the whole world. You know why? Because when I come to you, if I give me paint to go and paint my life, you give me blue. I go to Uncle Joe, you say he'll give me yellow. So when I'll go to Ikea, Ikea will give me pink. So when I use your blue and it's finished, I'll continue with green. And then they became colorful. And the children loved it because it became so colorful. That's what's an end after today. That library is the only library in the eastern region attached to a school.
Wow.
So that's how it started. And we started the reading clinics. The first year we started, we had 3 kids from Edumasa and Ajuna, the next village, going to participate in the National Spelling Bee competition in Accra. Thanks to my friend Eugenia Menson, who runs the spelling bee. They came there to train the kids, and you know, it was so exciting, but it hadn't happened before. I mean, Edumasa Presbyterian Primary, the kids from there actually represented the Eastern region in the national, and the excitement, the children were so motivated, they were so encouraged, and it was, you know, something that they hadn't experienced before, and it encouraged all the children. Now when I go there, all of them come and tell me their stories, what they have read and everything. And then gradually we extended it to other areas as well, rural communities. So we get the books and then we give it to rural communities as well. So not just Edumasa and the surrounding villages, because all the villages and towns around Edumasa, especially those who go to the school in Edumasa, use the library. Even some of the secondary school students in the next town, that's Ajina, also use the library sometimes, you know. And through the library, we've established a debate club. Wow. That organizes a debate every 6 weeks. Every 6 weeks is called, it's what they have called, oh Lord, my husband will kill me. It's a 6-week event that they call it Akwesidai. Oh God, Akwesidai, yes. Akwesidai. Every 6 weeks they have Akwesidai. So the Friday before Akwesidai, there's a debate among the junior high students.
What is what you
Akwesidai?
Yeah, what is it for the viewers and myself? I'm being educated.
Okay, Akwesidai is a traditional event.
Okay.
Every 6 weeks, it's on the traditional calendar. Every 6 weeks, the town folk, they meet, people outside, they come. The Saturday before the Sunday, there's like a town hall meeting where they talk about the town development issues. They make laws, they change laws, you know, they talk about everything development. And then the Sunday is either a feast or the visiting of the shrines or the something to remember the ancestors. So it happens every 6 weeks. Every without fail. So actually there is another one coming this weekend. Yeah, that's Akwesidai, and luckily, I mean, interestingly, it's going to climax the 55th anniversary of the traditional Queen Mother of Akwemu. Akwemu traditional area, which Edumasa falls under. Yeah, the traditional Queen Mother called Nana Afrakoma II. She has being a queen mother for 55 years.
Wow.
She became a queen mother when she was just 18 years. So we are celebrating her 55th anniversary, and coming Saturday will be like the climax of Deba, beautiful day. But one day Omega TV must come to Ghana.
You hear that?
To
We must come to Ghana.
Akwemu to see how we celebrate.
I'll bring
we
the
are
whole team.
you just bring the whole team. You'll have a wonderful time.
So moving on swiftly. So sorry to cut you.
Yeah, it's fine.
One thing I wanted to bring up that I picked up when I was doing my research on you, and I found so interesting and so moving, and I was like, wow, does this happen in Ghana? April 15th.
Yeah.
April 2015. You helped with anti-trafficking.
Yeah.
You know, ladies that were apparently being taken to Saudi Arabia and Kuwait to be sold as slaves. And I was like, wow, does this happen? I know it happens, but like in Ghana,
yes,
you know,
still
I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
How was that whole experience, and what was the aftermath? I mean, the goods and the bads with that whole...
It was scary.
Yeah.
It was heartbreaking. It was annoying. It was challenging because I had this young people.
And how did you find, I mean...
They came to me.
Okay.
They came to me, and they were afraid because the whole syndicate is deadly. They threaten families. Once they sign you on, they threaten families. They sometimes they make them swear oath.
Wow.
Oh yeah, they take them through a lot. And if you change your mind the last minute, you know, they can do anything to you or to your family. So these kids, these young people got to know that, no, what they told them they were going to do in Saudi Arabia is not what they are going to do. So they wanted to back up, but they didn't know. So they came to me, and then I went to the head of the anti-trafficking then, Madam Kwe, Patience Kwe, who was gracious enough. She worked with us, and then the whole operation, I can't go into it exactly what happened, but the whole operation happened, and a lot of girls were rescued. But the sad part is that they continue to go. The reasons are multifaceted. I mean, just was it, I think in July or something, there was a conference by the Ghana German Corporation, which I was one of the speakers, and we talked about this particular issue. I mean, there's poverty, there's greed, there's deceit, there's threat, everything. So many, I mean, reasons account for this. And it continues to happen. They go there, and the things they go through. I've had girls come back who were raped. I've had girls come back who were left in the desert to die. There's one of the girls who was raped by 4 men. She got to Ghana and realized she was pregnant. She's giving birth to a young girl. You know, I've had, you know, girls who were thrown, you know, from story buildings. I mean, the stories who were made to eat feces, and I mean, the stories are very horrifying, but then they continue to go. They continue to try. You can only try. You try, but I mean, sometimes we win. You win some, you lose some. I remember the time I was driving to work. I mean, Saturday morning I was going to record, and I met this young lady. She was running as she was carrying, you know, a pound of with sachet water. So can Auntie Gifty stop? So I stopped and said, she knelt down by my car. Auntie Gifty, thank you, God bless you. I said, why? Said, Auntie Gifty, I watch your program. Then we used to show the standpoint on Fridays on GTV. Said, Auntie Gifty, just yesterday, I watched your program, and I saw what they do to people in Saudi Arabia. Said, Auntie Gifty, before then, today, Saturday, I was going to sign a contract to go. Auntie Gifty, I won't go again. Auntie Gifty, I won't go again. Thank you for saving my. Thank you so much. I'll sell my ice water.
Wow.
Now that girl is selling ice water. She's graduated. Now she also had other people. She goes for the sachet water for them to sell. She gets her commission. She also sells. She now sells bottled water. She has a small shop. You understand? I mean, I tell people that, listen, life is not easy, but you can make it. Success is not measured by what somebody has. Once you're satisfied, you're proud of what you're doing. And every work is work, irrespective of where you find yourself. There's a reason why you are at this level. All you need to do is always make sure you upgrade yourself. When I was staying, I met a lady who was a cleaner. When she saw me, I told her, listen, I'm proud of you. I can tell you have children. Said, yes. Said, this is what you used to. Said, I'm proud of you that you decided to work. But just make sure that as the children are developing, you also adding value. Now this internet, there's Google, there's YouTube. Learn something. You are sacrificing for your children now. A time will come. You need to stand up and do it for yourself too. It's not a waste of time. It's a period of sacrifice. And when the right time comes, you will rise up.
That's it.
I tell my sister she's my role model because she left her work at Cabinet Office here, number 10, for 7 years to stay at home to raise her children. I went to visit her on Saturday. I saw her, saw the children, and I said, sis, I'm so proud of you because you did it. She said, Nana, that's my name is Nana. Said, Nana, it wasn't easy. I said, yes, but you did it.
Yeah,
now, how do you feel when you see your kids? It's time now for you to get up and do what you want to do. Do you now. Once you have life, everything is possible.
That's it. So, Oheneyere Gifty Anti, you've won so many awards, you have so many accolades. I mean, when your PA sent me your bio, I was like, I've never seen a bio like this in my life. You know, it was pages and I was like, did she? I was like, hey, did she? And then I'll flip the page. What? You know, it was like, you've won so many awards. It's amazing. But the most recent award you've won, the most influential woman. I mean, how do you feel? Obviously, you've won a lot of awards, but which award has stood out for you? Don't say all of them because we'll be here till 12 o'clock.
I know, right?
But just tell us about at least 2.
Oh.
And you still get excited when you win these awards because it's a lot, guys. It's not a joke. It's a lot. You know, us we win 1, 2, 3, and then we're happy. But this one is like.
Okay, I have 42.
42
awards and 105 citations. Now. Ikia says, wow. Now, for me, everything, somebody said, oh, but these things, they don't come with money. But for me, that's every time I win an award, it's a reminder from God that you're on the right path. Somebody is watching you. Somebody is being impacted by you. So don't give up. What next? Anytime I win an award, I ask myself, okay, what next? What am I going to do differently? I don't allow myself to wallow in it and settle in it. My father taught me something. He said there's something about something called the curse of stardom. If you let it get into your head, you'll mess up. Once you're busy messing up, somebody is busy warming up to take up from you.
To take your place.
It's just by grace that you're there. So the awards, that's difficult to say. Okay, so this one, most influential woman, means a lot to me. And there was one, a Superwoman, award because of the character, the number of women in these are women like I look up to, I admire and I salute, and then out of them, I was voted for as the inspirational, the Superwoman, and then I think in 2000,
definitely Superwoman, you're definitely Superwoman.
But there's no Superwoman anywhere,
It's not real,
I think in 2012, I had 2 awards. That's the international award from the African Women in Leadership Organization, AULO. As award, I think they gave me 2 awards. One was for creating a platform for women. To discuss it, and then the second one was for being a voice for women. And that was very humbling. Very, very humbling. In 2012, I was 42 years? Yes. I was 42 years and I, seen people, and I say that I stand on the shoulders of other people who have started. People started for me to be able to believe in joining, and I've had a lot of support from women who have done it before and are still doing it in their own way. So it's always humbling. And then one of the recent one was when I was conferred with a fellowship of the Boardroom Institute.
Wow.
And kind of people were just there. And every time, like, God is taking on. When I go on 23rd of November, I'm also going to be honored by the Chartered Institute of Leadership and Governance.
Wow.
As one of the heroes in this. We are 3 people.
Uh-huh.
And if I tell you the other 2, Charlie.
Can you share with us?
Oh Lord.
You can't?
I can't.
Okay. Well,
Tell her because I don't have their permission, but
yes.
trust me, I'll send you the pictures.
Please.
It's very humbling, but it all tells me that you can give up. You can give up. You can give up. You have to keep going because there's somebody watching. Because this journey is tough, and leadership is lonely. And sometimes when you're going and you can't see your way clearly, it's tough. I keep going because I see Angela Jamunapwaju still going. Wow. I see Professor Audrey Gajepo. I see Gifty. I see Dr. Joyce Ayi. I see, Nano Yeleta. I see other women doing it.
Yes.
Still not giving up.
Wow.
And so they challenge me and I keep going. And I believe that I'm also challenging some people behind me.
Definitely.
But then if there's nobody, you may think that.
And despite all this that's going on, I mean, you're not afraid to say how old you are.
No.
You got married at 45,
yes,
and had your first child at 47.
Yeah.
So you're doing all this stuff, this humanitarian work. You're the founder of 2 charities. You've got this amazing career, but you're husbandless, you're childless, and in Ghana there's stigmas around this. Yeah. How did you deal with all the negativity? And I mean, some would have given up, like you said, but you kept going. You kept going.
It was tough, Eva. It was tough because those times too, there's so many rumors. Quite recently I heard that I was even tagged as being a lesbian and all. I didn't know that, but somebody told me. And funny that the person told me in church. Told me. I mean, all sort of. I've had a program when I had young girls telling me that, when I wanted to vie for leadership, people said I shouldn't be like Gifty Anti because I won't get any man to marry you. I've been at programs where everybody's hailing me and then somebody comes out, oh please, with all her accolades and everything, she's not married, she doesn't have a child, please don't let it get into her head. Stuff. It's been tough. There were low moments, but there were days when I told myself that, listen, you can't let them stop you.
And you describe yourself as the woman who has super
crazy faith in God. I told myself that, listen, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do what God has ordained me to do. God has given me a voice and a platform. At that time, I was not married. I didn't have a child. My mother was dead. My father was dead. All I had was my voice and my platform. Why was I going to let people take that away from me? I loved what I was doing. I loved it and I still love it. Why should I let somebody's misunderstanding of me, somebody being, jealous or somebody being whatever, take that away from me? I tell me I'm a born rebel. I grew up in Tema Community 8. I went to Saito Community 8, number 1 primary and middle school.
We have a lot of people watching.
Oh Lord.
So I just want to quickly shout out some people. Someone even said, I have to go to bed, not in a bad way, but this has been amazing. That's Nana Afiesewa Akoto. She was at the book signing.
Oh, okay.
We have Sarah Spenlove, Akuya. I mean, there's so much people that have been watching us. Yeah, I can't mention everybody or we'll be here forever, but we have a lot of viewers. Oh, I can't see the messages. Let me see. Could you put them up on the screen or that won't work? Okay, Charles Color. I mean, Let me go, but I have to go back. Hold on. We are on live TV. Guys, still share, because this show is still going to be, you know, on Omega Live TV. We're live now on Facebook and also on YouTube. Yeah, so Gifty, you're married to a chief.
You keep calling me Gifty, you're going to be in trouble.
Oheneyere.
I'm kidding.
Gifty
I'm
Anti.
kidding. I'm kidding. Please feel free.
I feel bad.
I go, no, I just pulling your legs. I'm Gifty, please.
We have to, because I mean, we could. This is just, it's a lot, because you've got so much to educate us with.
I'm just pulling your legs, please. Let's go on. Please feel free to call me Gifty.
I mean, quickly, you're married to King, and you're Oheneyere Gifty Anti. You have a baby, you have this career, you're doing all these things. How do you balance? For the women that are watching, you know, that want to learn about how to balance, have that even balance. How do you do it?
That's why I tell women that you do you whilst you waiting period. You know, that's what I love talking about. The waiting period.
The waiting
What
period.
you're waiting.
And that's in
or
bit
whatever.
9. That's my favorite bits in the book.
Listen, do everything you have to do. Don't sit at one place waiting for a man to come. Don't sit at one place waiting for a baby. I'm not saying don't close your mind to it.
Yes.
But be an achiever. Go and get it. Since I gave birth, you know, since 2015, this is the first time I'm traveling.
Wow.
I decided and I made a conscious effort. My first 2 years in marriage, I said I was going to learn how to be a wife.
Okay.
Especially a chief's wife, and that ain't no joke.
I can imagine.
It's difficult. And then I had a baby. I breastfed my baby 6 months exclusive, and I continued to breastfeed her for 2 years. The last time my baby breastfed was the day I left Ghana.
So that's
The 23rd of October. That she breastfed. So I was breastfeeding and everything. So I spent time with them. I took time out to make it, because I have worked. I mean, I'm coming up with my second book, and one of the bits in there, I talk about preparing yourself first.
Okay.
Earning your place, earning your reputation first. So I had worked out. I created the Gifty Anti brand was there.
Yes.
What people know what I can do and what I cannot do. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Everything.
The truth and the untruth. So I took time out. When I was pregnant, last 3 months, nothing would do. When I gave birth, first 3 months, nothing will work. But after the 3 months, I took my baby everywhere with me. Everywhere. And since she started school, I pick her up from school, we go straight home, because I want her to settle. So I start work in the morning, early every morning, 8:30. By 2, I have closed. I'm going to pick my baby and go home.
You're a real mom.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I make sure I take my baby. I'm part of it. Even if it's a driver, I'm in the car.
Yes.
We take my daughter to school, and when she closes, I'm part of it. We go and take her from school. And I must say this on TV, that I'm so grateful to my husband, because he took it up when I had to come here, and every day he makes sure he goes there. He will send me a message. I'm going to pick up the princess. I'm going to drop my jewel and everything.
Yes.
And he's home every morning since this girl started school. He will wake up every morning to make sure he prepares her food, because he loves to cook. I hate to cook, I hate I hate to cook, but he loves to cook.
Okay,
and I appreciate him for that sacrifice. But this is a sacrifice I'm making. When I have to go somewhere now, if I have to do, I have to think about it.
Yes.
Is my daughter okay? I have to make sure I put things in. I discuss with my husband. Okay, there are things that he needs to do. That's good. Master, this one, go on your own. Me too, I have something to do.
Yes.
When we come back, we'll meet. But there are certain things, though, I have to go with him as a traditional, leader and a company. But that's the balance.
So you're a queen.
I am a queen, not a queen mother.
That's it.
Okay. So the queen mother comes from the royal family of the area.
Yes.
Now the queen is the wife of the chief, like the Oheneyere. So I don't come from the royal family of Edumasa. So I'm not the queen mother of Edumasa.
No.
You understand?
Yes, I do.
So there is a queen mother, it will cause Nanefia, bracket too. Yeah, but I'm not the queen mother. But I'm my husband's queen, of course.
I understand. So moving on swiftly, you have this book out. This is what's brought you to the UK, actually.
No, actually, what brought me as a Ghana diaspora women.
The
launch of it. They invited me to be their keynote speaker at their event in London. But of course, the book is part of it because it's part of the package that we agreed on that I came. So at every event, I have had the book sales and then the book signing as well. So I came to do their launch in London, which was on the 26th of October, and then on the 2nd of November they had an inauguration of the Midlands, branch, and I was there.
And the way they danced, the way they ushered you in was amazing.
Manchester was amazing. I mean, really, the team Manchester was. I mean, they blew my mind. The reception, everything was okay, and I say thank you to Mrs. Agnes Riafi Oting of Pazito. I never able to Pazito Radio. I mean, amazing. Manchester was amazing. Everybody who came, they picked me up, they drove me around and everything. I mean, it's amazing. Manchester was excellent. I enjoyed it. So that's the main reason I came. But of course, I've had other programs. I've spoken at churches. At the Assemblies of God Church. I spoke at the Presbyterian, the Trinity Presbyterian Church. I did 2 services, and that was amazing for a Presbyterian pastor to give you his first Sunday of the month communion service for you to preach 2 services. It was amazing. I mean, I've just been blown by it. And of course, yesterday I was at Trinity Baptist Church, my mother church, and then of course the Methodist Central Hall at Westminster. And coming Tuesday, that's tomorrow, I'm going to have my final event. That's the Rita Bene event, and then Akosia Concepts. They put it together a project and meet a time with the Oheneyere Gifty Anti. So we are going to have a discussion. We are going to have a conversation. All the questions people want to ask me, they can ask.
So tomorrow is her last day.
The event,
is her last
event
in the UK.
In the UK for this trip.
And I think what we'll do is we'll share it on our Omega Live page afterwards. So
but tomorrow 6 p.m.
Oh, people will come. They'll come. We'll share the flyer, definitely. But this book, guys, you need to get it. I've been reading it every morning, and it's really broken some chains, to be honest. It has. It's broken some chains. And this is Oheneyere Gifty Anti's new book called A Bit of Me. And where can people find this book?
You can get it on Amazon.com. That's if you're in the UK. You can get it, of course, Ghana. There's so many places you can get it.
Asked me today.
Yes, you can get it on. But if you can be there, I have about, I think, 35 copies left.
If you're in the south side of London tomorrow,
I'm 35, And the difference that what tomorrow will make is that I'll autograph it for you. And the Amazon.com too, you can order it. And when I see you next, I'll autograph it for you or sign it for you.
Yeah, because you did autograph mine, and it was very personal. And I kind of thought to myself, is this woman a prophet as well?
The people tell me all that.
Amazing.
I don't repeat the message for everybody. I just have a specific message for every single person.
Each and every person.
Every person. So I
get this book, A Bit of Me, by Oheneyere Gifty Anti. Do you know how I've been trying to pronounce that? I'm so bad with my pronunciation. If I don't know how to pronounce this word, my mum will laugh at me. Everybody will laugh at me because I'm such a diaspora.
Yes, woman
of the diaspora. So before we end, I mean, there's so much questions I want to ask you. I even had to, miss out a few because of time. There's so many things that people ask me to ask you that I haven't been able to ask. But
so they should come tomorrow and ask me.
Exactly, come tomorrow. Like
3
I said,
hours straight tomorrow.
And it will be worth it, guys. Like when you're around this woman, it's different. It's not. She's got this spirit that she carries, which is amazing. So before we leave, you're going to be 50.
Yay!
January 23rd. She's going to be 50 years old. Look at her. She looks amazing. I'm blown away. Like the way you look. When she's standing here, if you think I stand this woman, she's got the curves all in the right places.
My dear.
What are you doing for your 50th birthday?
I actually don't know. I have nothing planned.
You're only 51.
You know, I'm so excited about that. I know I'm going to do something for the less privileged in society. Wow. Definitely, I'm going to do
and
that.
I'm coming to come on the 30th. I'm going to miss your birthday.
Oh, hey, it's going to be a whole, month long.
The Queen's wife, so
please.
The King's wife, so we're going to be celebrating.
We're going to have, but of course, personally, honest to God, I haven't planned anything party or anything, but I just know that I'm going to, my friends said, listen, tell us in advance. We know you are going to tell us to help the less privileged, so let us prepare for it.
But you have to celebrate you.
I will do that. My 40th birthday, I brought the orphans from the Village of Hope together, and then we had a party for them at Afrikiko Gardens. My 50th, I don't even know. I haven't got it, but I know. I mean, I'm very spontaneous, so I know something. We're going to do something. Then something will happen. Something must happen.
Yes.
If my husband is watching, something must happen.
And your husband has a show on Joy FM.
Yes, that's my opinion.
Is that you pushing him, or is he? I mean, do you feel
I'm his behind the scenes producer and editor.
Yeah, because
even here today, I was even on the tube. I had to come off to edit something for him.
Well, he's doing well. I watched his show. I watched 2 of them this week, and I was like,
okay.
You see, when you get a good wife, you see what happens. But
I'm just so proud of him because he's very opinionated and he does a lot of research and he lets a lot of things go into what he does. He believes in what he does. He calls himself a legacy hunter. He believes in it. Listen, if my husband had his own way, he would take everything in our house, including the building, to Idumasa. He believes in it, and he's always doing that. He believes in the lot of his people, and they are done. I'm not saying that because he's my husband. Honestly, if he wasn't doing anything, I couldn't have been doing what I do for the people of Idumasa. But because he's doing something, so I also thought about supporting. Every Christmas, my main charities are the Girl in Need Foundation and the Awood and Swa Reading Project. But for the past 2 years, and this will be the 3rd time, every Christmas, what I do is, again, I go ask people to give me shoes, new shoes, and slightly used shoes, socks, and sometimes, and as one knows, they have to be new, to go and give to the children in the rural communities. Because I remembered when I was growing up, Christmas, if I have a new shoe, it meant the world to me. So excited because I wasn't getting it all the time. And these kids, the first time we did it, Eva, I will send you some of the pictures. Oh Lord, the excitement. There's this little boy, he does, God knows, and it meant so much. And the Sunday, I gave it to them, so Sunday they all came to show me their shoes. We had church service at the palace, and it was so excited. So I call it the happy feet. And normally the children go, I asked my husband how many children it is. He told me that there are about 100. When I took the shoes, almost 500 kids came. So you know what they do? They tell the other children in the other villages that their mother has brought shoes. So everybody comes around. So children from all the surrounding villages and towns come and they benefit from it. Because if your mother, if you're called to serve, you don't do it only for your children, quote unquote, because every child matters.
Wow.
Every child matters. So if you can reach out to them, why not?
Why not? Definitely. It's been a pleasure. Like it's been an honor to have you at the Omega Live TV studio.
Thank you.
It's
been great speaking to you.
Thank you. You brightened up my. Thank you so much for coming and gracing us with all your knowledge, and it's breathtaking. And this book, guys, make sure you get it. If you want to meet her, you have an opportunity to meet her tomorrow if you're in South London. Not even if you're in South, if you drive or whatever, just come. I mean, we're going to put the flyer on our page afterwards.
Okay, thank you.
And Oheneyere Gifty Anti is also on social media. She's on
Facebook, my personal Facebook page where I write all the crazy things. It's Oheneyere Nana Dansoa. And my motivational page is Oheneyere Gifty Anti. My Instagram page is Oheneyere_Gifty Anti. That's my Instagram page, and of course we have the Standpoint page as well. So you can send me a message in my inbox. I make sure I'm very good with the Facebook, but Instagram not too good. I go there every now and then. So if you have any present wherever you are in the world, you can reach out to me, and trust me, I will reply. It may not be immediate, but I definitely will get back to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys. It's late. Wow, this is the first time we've had someone here for so long. That's how you know that it's just powerful. You can still share with everybody. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube page, Omega Live TV, and also hit that like button if you want to see more shows like this here on Omega Live TV. Thank you for watching, and sorry that we started really late, but it was well worth it. As you can see, we've had the amazing Oheneyere. Hey, my tongue is getting twisted.
Oheneyere Gifty Anti, or Gifty Anti.
Gifty Anti in the studio with us, and she's going back to Ghana. So make sure tomorrow you try and meet her. Like I said, the leaflet will be shared after the
6
show.
p.m. Croydon Park Hotel.
Thank you so
6 p.m.
much.
Thank
You've been watching Gold Diggers. Until next week. Thank you.